You mentioned that inalienable rights are given to us by God, but I've noticed that there is an argument to the contrary posited by political philosopher Hillel Steiner. It consists of the following three things: the will theory, the interest theory, and Hofeldian deontic logic. The will theory states that rights govern our choices and come from our choices, but if we have the inability to make a choice or the incompetence to make a choice, then our rights can effectively be voided. The interest theory is the opposite. It says that we can't void our rights, but they can be affected by the breach of a duty by another party. So somebody else can take away our rights under the interest theory. Under Hofeldian deontic logic, there are four types of rights: privileges, claims, powers, and immunities. All of those cancel each other out and can be taken away at any time. Do you have any expertise on this, and can you offer an argument to the contrary?
Okay, well, I can't say. I wouldn't want to be unfair to the author that you're citing, since I have never read that author. So, and I'm sure that you're doing a really great, back of the envelope job summarizing the argument. But with that said, it's hard for me to take on an argument that I would want to actually read more about before I take it on. Is this an argument based on? So here's my basic question. The reason that I say that rights are based on God-given rights is the idea that is long held in the Western canon, a combination of Judeo-Christian values and Aristotelian philosophy, that suggests that individuals have certain rights as a facet of their reason, and that reason is originally provided by an unmoved mover. Right? So the idea here, the reason that is important, as opposed to an atheistic philosophy of rights, is it's very difficult for me to see why an atheistic philosophy of rights. I don't know if this is an atheistic philosophy, is it?
It has no religious components. So
okay, so if you do it without reference to, the inherent value of a human being, then certain people just fall by the wayside. I mean, even in the theory that you're espousing to me, which again I'm only getting sort of the bare bones of it. You even in that, when you say, for example, will, if you don't have the capacity to exercise will, your rights go away. Okay, well, there are a lot of people like children who don't really have the capacity to exercise fully their will. Do they have any rights at all? I assume they have the right not to be killed. I assume they have the right not to be abused.
To my knowledge, they don't. America is one of the few developed countries with no children's rights.
That's not true. Children obviously have rights, which is why you have Child Protective Services that comes in and takes kids out of their parents' home if they're being abused. Kids don't have the rights to control, where they go to school. They don't have the right to control a lot of things about their life, but they certainly have basic human rights. I mean, I think the entire society is built around the idea of how do we assure basic human rights to children.